late yesterday afternoon, the first acceptances came out for the Headwobbler of the year, much like they are for the Melbourne Cup.
Yep.
And what people have done since then is when the Melbourne Cup weights come out, that's when you start punting, because if you reckon you're on to one, the odds are generous.
Yep.
And Adam Hamilton, of course, is from tab.com.au, has framed the first market. Now, some of these won't even get a start. Some of them won't even get past the first 2 weeks of training. But you can get on early and you can get a price.
And Ads, as we welcome you, hello mate.
Yeah.
You know I'm not an expert when it comes to horse racing, but as I understand it, you get a lot of brumbies early on, thinking they're going to get a Melbourne Cup start, but they're actually miles off the pace. Is that fair?
Yeah, but you open the big field, get the mugs money in on some of the non-contenders, and that builds a bank for the rest of it.
And I guess the other thing is that form, because occasionally a trainer will give a horse a run early just to see if it's capable of going the 2 mile.
Yep.
And some of the form in the NAB Challenge has puffed a few contenders up who think, I'm in pretty good touch, I'm going to nominate.
Who greeted the 1,000-metre post half decently and suddenly think they're in Melbourne Cup
in a
company.
Stony Creek maiden.
So, all right, you came last night, I thought, unbelievably prepared with early numbers, and there's been enormous interest since then, am I right?
And before Ads just goes with this is Spud's award, and he's not here because he's at the funeral, but the Headwobbler of the year for the media performer who thinks he's better than he is and gets well ahead of himself.
Takes himself way too seriously.
Jim's won it twice. I won it last year. So that's where it's at.
No one's excluded.
I think I won it the year before, didn't I, too, guys? I won it twice, I think.
What we need to do with that too is explain, before we get to Ads Field, we need to explain that a lot of us winning is Spud being as weak as piss.
That's exactly
because
what this is.
Spud does is he tiptoes around people he really thinks should win, and then he lacks the courage at the end to hand it to them.
Correct.
So he jumps into the lifeboat and gives it to one of us who he knows will comfortably handle it.
And he's scared of people at Fox Footy for some reason.
He is.
And on other occasions, we thoroughly deserve it.
Yeah. True.
Personally, for
No
being
I was the inaugural.
And the other thing about this, before he's got plenty of time, is that we tend to monitor reaction once someone gets nominated or they get a price put to their name, and some take it in the manner that it is intended.
That's it.
Others
filthy right up
and think they're above it.
It's a measure of the person.
And those that filthy up will be shortened and talked about.
Exactly. So with all of that as the backdrop, Ads, where are we at?
Well, look, there has been a lot of interest, and two of the tab team, Jaimee Rogers and also Munzo, ordered an emergency meeting this morning
to
reassess the entire market. Munzo banged the desk and said,
"Oh yes,
we've got to address a few of the people in it." He said, "We're withdrawing Doc Larkins for relevance." So he said, "We're taking him out of the market."
Crikey.
Yeah, no, he's totally out of the market. So Gerard Whateley is an outright favourite.
What?
Now,
Man,
yes.
Gee, that's different to the one I got faxed. Go on.
We've got certainly Mark Stevens. Now, Mark Stevens actually sent us a message last night saying, "I'm offended I'm not in the market."
Yeah.
Well,
so
he's got a haircut that smacks of
maybe
wobble.
someone hadn't paid up for him. But clearly overnight he's been paid up for.
So he's been backed into $13. Now here's a couple of friends of Triple M that are right into the mix. Right. Campbell Brown was tweeting today. He's been 34 into $13. He was tweeting out today that they need to name a wing after him up there at his old home ground. So I think there's a bit of strut about that. And the other one is always interested betting-wise the punters when a person tweets out a reference to themselves in the third person, which Schwatta did today as well. So he's been a firm at 21 into $11. Hashtag soy mocha. I'll leave it to others, Schwatta.
Now, what we are able to confirm is that a form guide will be prepared. We're back in the studio next Saturday from 12 o'clock. And that's
with
where
Spud.
We will read out the field and with form attached to it. So that's going to happen next week. But I'll run through. You got more there?
The field or just acceptances?
Acceptances.
Run through yours and I'll give you the latest.
These are just the ones that have been accepted and paid up for. So Jon Ralph, Brayshaw, David King, Luke Darcy, myself, someone's paid up for me, Mark Robinson, Mark Howard, Liam Pickering, Gerard Whateley, you mentioned. Caroline Wilson's been paid up for.
Really?
Okay.
Spud might have.
I think a pretender in this field.
Yeah,
Andrew
$51.
Demetriou.
Yep. Andrew Demetriou.
Andrew Demetriou has been paid up
Has
for.
he?
And
The top weight.
Be surprised if he has a bit of it himself at long odds. Dermot Brereton.
Oh, no question.
Who's a perennial sort of sub-zero setup. Andy Maher has been paid up for.
Has he?
Hamish McLaughlin, the chomp.
Hammer.
Channel 9, well, it could have a chomp off because Channel 9's own Tony Jones.
Tony Jones has to be a
also
star.
been paid up for.
Has to be a star.
As has Warrior. You're there. And this is an interesting one. Dr Rohan White.
Has he?
Has been an early acceptor into this large. It's a very large field, and it'll be narrowed down, but they will continue to come.
And Adam, let me ask on my own behalf why I was friendless last night. This is a 2-time winner, and I think I've been a top 3 finisher on 3 other occasions. So I've never been out of the placings, and yet I think you said $17 last night.
Yes, actually 17 out to 26. You'll have to speak to the punters. You'll have to speak to the one you mentioned on the run through there was Howie. Now, just
good money,
huge money for Howie.
Wow.
Yeah, he's really
the surfing.
He's really in the sights of the punters.
The Parko video, wasn't it?
The surfing video, the work in Sochi, the strutting the Grand Prix track. It's got him right in the mix, boys.
It's not something you want to win. Because you're effectively saying you're the biggest fathead in footy.
Yep.
And
we have one.
We're twice.
But I hope that Spud grows some pills and it looks beyond us. Because there's some bigger ones.
No doubt. And there's also some positioning off-field being done. Yeah. Hutchy, the worst offender. Desperate to get a start.
Hutchy started jumping in on our email. For our segment, trying to run our segment.
What's he thinking about?
Stick to your own backyard stuff, Hutchy.
He can't. He's not going to get a start ads, surely.
He did raise a good point.
No, Hutchy.
He did raise a good point, though, this morning, Hutchy. You reckon Nathan Brown might be a bit of a firmer with the Celebrity Grand Prix race?
Yeah, any good in his performance?
No, we didn't
and going over to a serious
struggling
station.
From relevance deprivation.
Yeah, that's that relevance issue again.
Well, Pickers is the only one that gets a start out of Hutchy's stable.
Yeah,
they've picked their runner.
That's right. That's exactly right. The 3 of them, old Smurf and Machi and Big Pickers, they line themselves
pick
up.
Their best runner.
And the big snorkel nose, or in fact, to beat Dr. Turf, you're going well. But Pix has been nominated from that stable, and Hutchy paid up for it.
Adam Hamilton, tab.com.au. These are very interesting times. How I'm at 26. I didn't think I could improve on a product that was perfect purple, but I'm going to have to somehow. I'm going to find a way.
Well, the pressure's on now.
It is.
You have to actually produce a performance to get yourself back in the discussion.
I can do it. That is a wonderful field.
And this man, Dale Melt, says, head wobbling about being the top head wobbler. That's nice work.
That's it. And it's getting me nowhere, Garry. I'm drifting.